Hello, ENN, year 10 class 3. This is Mr. Ken once again. And today I want to continue from what we've been looking at for the past 3 sessions. We've been looking at literary devices. And I want us to continue from there so that you are familiar with all these literary devices. These are things you'll encounter before you do your 11 exam. You'll come across several literary devices, and I want you to be very familiar and competent with them, to know the examples, to know how they are applied in a work of art, so that you don't have a problem answering your questions. We have looked at several of them, and today we'll continue the series. This is the last class on literary devices before we switch to something totally different. Besides, after this class you'll get notes on this and more questions on literary devices before we move to something else. Today I want to start with something we call an allegory. What is an allegory? We'll start with an allegory. Now, an allegory simply, it is a story, a poem, a picture that can be interpreted to reveal a hidden meaning, typically a moral or a political message. A poem, a picture, or a story that can be interpreted to reveal a hidden meaning, typically a moral or a political message. We can also say an allegory is a figure of speech where an abstract idea is described using characters, events, or other elements. An abstract idea, a person, an event. An abstract idea is a person is abstract, it's something you can see, it's real. It can be described using a different character. You can use an animal to represent someone. You can use an animal to represent Joseph. Joseph is an abstract thing. An animal is a character to represent that. So simply, an allegory is a story, a poem, or a picture that can be interpreted to reveal a hidden meaning. An allegory, you can also say, it's a more fancy way of saying something instead of being literal with an idea. You can use characters, you can use events, or other elements in order to describe something in a better way. Think of it like a story within a story. You use characters, events, or other means to represent the literal meaning. Use something else to represent the literal meaning. Simply, that's what we call an allegory. And I'll give you an example of a picture that you can say is an allegory. Look at that crowd. It's a crowd walking. The mouths are closed. But you can see they have a banner with the mouth open. These simply are the voiceless people in society. People who don't have a voice. People who need someone to speak on their behalf. You can see, you don't even see the mouth. It's like it's sealed from the picture. But there's a banner with the mouth open. These are people who need someone to speak on their behalf. Maybe they're the downtrodden. Maybe they are underprivileged in society. Maybe these are people who are overwhelmed by the demands of the society, and they need someone to speak to them. Maybe the low class in a society, and they need someone to represent them, someone to speak on their behalf. So that picture is allegorical. That picture can be used to interpret a hidden meaning. This is moral, it's not political. We said the meaning could either be moral or political. This is a moral message, morality. We need someone to speak on our behalf. Maybe you are suffering, we are in distress. We need someone to speak on our behalf. That's why they walk with the banner with the mouth open. Let's look at a different picture. Look at that picture. There's a building. It's called the International Criminal Court. On the same building, We have writings in the world. They say all animals are equal, but some animals are more equal than others. When you look outside, we see several animals outside the courts. So it simply means probably the justice system favors some people more than others. We can interpret the picture to reveal a hidden meaning. The justice system in most countries, most middle-class economies, the justice system favors more people than others. That's why you say some animals are more equal than others. The law applies to some people, but it doesn't apply to some. Probably that is what that message, that video is trying to, that picture is trying to reveal to us. It's an allegory. It is a picture that can be interpreted to reveal a hidden meaning. A hidden meaning. So simply, that's what we call an allegory. A picture, a story, a poem that can be used to interpret a hidden meaning. This meaning can either be political or moral. We look at the first example, that was a moral message. Second example, it's a political message. So that is what we call an allegory. Secondly, I want us to look at something we call colloquialism. Colloquialism. Colloquialism are expressions, words and phrases that are used in informal, everyday speech, including slang. Colloquialism are expressions, words, or phrases that are used in informal, everyday speech, including slang. You can use this a couple of different ways. Firstly, you can use this as slang in the real world, and secondly, you can even create your books on colloquialism for the word and culture. And even when writing a dialogue, you can use colloquialism. So it is a form of speech. These are simply expressions, words, phrases that are used in informal, unofficial, everyday speech. They can also be used in slang. Slang is a language that has been coined out of an official language that is used basically mostly in the streets. Now, you can use a couple of different ways colloquialism. When you listen to Jamaicans speak, people from the Caribbean part of the world, you'll find that they have some colloquial expressions that are unique to them, that are not normally used in different parts of the world, but are unique to that particular group of people. When you go to West Africa, you'll also find there are some colloquial expressions that are used by people from that kind. When you listen to the English spoken in Nigeria, Ghana, and some other English-speaking West African countries, you realize it is different from the official English that you speak. Same to England itself. When you move to England, people from maybe Liverpool and people from London, when you listen to their English, and maybe people from Newcastle, when you listen to their English, you realize there's some colloquial expressions, there's some words and expressions that are unique to that particular group of people. That's what we call colloquialism. Examples looks something like, I'm gonna talk to him. I'm gonna talk to him. Simply meaning I'm going to speak to him. I gotta go. I got to go. But use I got to go. I wanna hold your hand. I want to hold your hand. But someone says I wanna hold your, I wanna instead of want to. Let me go. Let me go. Let me go instead of let me go. That's a colloquial expression. That is colloquialism. Get out of here. Get out of here. get out of here. Huh? I'm kind of out of luck. I'm kind of out of luck. I'm kind of out of luck. I'm talk to him. I'm gonna talk to him. I'm going to talk to him. I have to. I have to. I have to do it. I have to. I don't know. I don't. I doesn't know. Doesn't know. I don't know. So such a colloquial expression. I gotta go, I wanna, let me, give me a break instead of give me a break. That's colloquialism. Huh? Kinda. I'm kinda out of luck. I'm kinda out of luck. I'm kind of out of luck. Those are examples of colloquial expressions that are unique to a particular kind of people. Mostly Americans. If you go to America, they're quite common with most of these colloquial expressions. I gotta talk to him. I gotta go. I wanna hold your hand. Let me go. All those examples, they're unique to that particular group of people. And I've told you, even Jamaicans, they have their own colloquial expressions. West Africans have their own colloquial expressions. If you come to Kenya and East Africa, they also have their own colloquial expressions. If you go to South Africa, they have their own colloquial expressions. So colloquialism are just words and expressions that are unique to a particular group of people and mostly used in everyday and official speech. Now we'll continue further and look at a different style in the next part of this class.